Another trial run session with my Whizzard deck. Today I'm up against Tenant Institute. So let's get things going. This is my opening hand. There's no economy. Once again, I'm not very happy with that, but there's a diesel, there's a couple of breakers, there's John Masanori, there's a special order to get whatever I need. So I really cannot complain too much. I'd rather keep this hand than mulligan into a worse one. Alright, so it is HQ R&D open, and I'll take full advantage of that. Thank you very much. With Jackson Howard, that goes in the trash, and I get to see a close accounts. Alright, that is a very bad card to see if you're on my side because I just installed the John Masanori, so I really cannot afford to face check ice, and he ices up R&D. So now here's a huge problem. If I want to, I need to run every single turn to get the click efficiency from Masanori, and more importantly, to deny him of his ID ability. But at the same time, I do not want to face check ice, because if I do so wrongly, it will cost me a click and 2 credits to remove the tag. So that is horrible for me. I discard a nerf agent here because I really want to keep everything else. I need the breakers, all the breakers in the world, so that I can get through servers properly without suffering too many tags. And Spinal Modem is always great. It's good income. Alright, so he gets a remote server going. And while I decide what to do. Usually I'll just run the remote server here right now. If he resists that ice, I will know of his identity, and I might take a tag from end the run, but at least I'll know what it is. And if he doesn't res it, I get click efficiency. So instead, what I do is I hedge my bets. Because he advanced the ice on HQ, I assume that it is an ice wall. Because that is the ice that most people, most Tenant Institutes choose to advance. It is especially against Anarchs, because you have to expect that Anarchs are running Parasite. If you advance something that's not an ice wall, they can Parasite it down, and you just lost a lot of your advancement tokens. Alright, so he attempts to score something in that remote. I assume it's an agenda, so I make my way in swiftly the next turn with my Surprise Knight, which breaks the Roto Turret, and I score the Nisei. Booyah! That felt very good. And this is why you do not show your hand, especially as Whizzard. They cannot tell at all, just by looking at this spot with a Kuroda, Akamatsu, and a John Masanori on it. They can't tell that I'm running Knight. So it's a nasty surprise to anyone, and it definitely paid off for me. I secured myself an incredibly important agenda in the likes of Nisei, because yes, you cannot give Nisei to the enemy corp. You can't let him score it, and he will score it next turn because of his ID ability. Alright, so I see his Trick of Light, no surprise there. Right now, my main priority is to get money going. I still haven't seen a single Katie Jones or Armitage on my side, just a single show gamble to tide things my way. So that is looking grim for me. I would love to draw more cards to potentially see some form of economy, but oh man, I will suffer a huge tempo hit as a result, and that I do not want. So I attack the weaker server, which is Archives, just to gain the card from Masanori and to deny him his ID ability. But Shikyu. Alright, so what he does here is to use Shikyus as shocks. He makes me pay 1 credit. He pays 1 credit for each GQ. So I have to decide between taking one net damage and scoring -1 agenda points. Here's what I did. I scored 1 and I took 1 net damage. I cannot afford to take 2 net damage because the chances of me losing my York or Mimic is very high, and I really need the York and Mimic. But at the same time, if I take both as negative agenda points, I'm worried about Philotic Entanglement, which he can easily score from hand with Trick of Light. That would put me in a worse position. So that's why I decided to take 1 of each instead. It might not have been the best choice, but oh well, what can I do? Alright, so it erases my Knight and installs 2 fresh new eyes on it. At the same time, I get another Knight in my inventory. I play it right now because he already knows that I'm playing Knight, so there's no surprise factor. I'll just put it on the board right now so that I can threaten a server without having to spend the click needed to play it. So That turn, I didn't make a successful run, and now he has a fully charged Ice Wall ready to go. I'm still assuming it's an Ice Wall or Himitsu Bako, because he did not res it when I ran HQ earlier on with my Corroder out. So you have to assume it's a barrier. Alright, I make my way to his weaker server, R&D, and I start chalking up medium tokens. And that's a very annoying piece of ice. Data pipe. No one on earth plays data pipe, but he does, and he's getting a better out of it. It's better than a Quandary, because it has 2 subroutines, and it's better than an Enigma, because I need to break both subroutines to get past. So, yeah, that was horrible. But that's Spinal Modem coming into play. Without the Spinal Modem, I wouldn't have been able to get past the ice. I had only 2 credits in my credit pool. So, that bankrupted me. So, for my next turn, I had to click for credits since I have no economy, and jump the knight over to his HQ. That was pretty important because I'm pretty sure he would erase the data pipe if I left it lying on R&D. And I knew that I had a York in hand, so I can easily get past data pipe the next turn. And sure enough, I play the York after the lucky find, and I get 1 access. Close accounts, blue level clearance. Not cards you want to see, let's just put it that way. So, he is starting to get pretty beefed up. He has a lot of unrest ice on the board, which is very threatening. And I finally draw into my ice cover, which is great. So now I should be able to break most ice. And I draw into the Dirty Laundry. I can't run archives. There's a CQ in there, I know it. But I really need the credits. Otherwise I cannot play the ice cover. So I decided to Dirty Laundry R&D, and that was a huge mistake. I was hoping that that would be a fake ice, maybe a Himitsu Bako or an Ice Wall, to deter me from running R&D, but it turned out to be something which I couldn't break, even with an ice cover. So, as a result, I took a tag, and I lost the Dirty Laundry's 2 credits. That was a huge setback. I should have ran archives with my Dirty Laundry. So now, I'm in huge trouble. And I joined to another Dirty Laundry, and I decided that, yeah, I have to do it because I have no money. I can't do anything if I have no money. So I'm going to take the CQ like a man. But first, the shock hits me, so I lose my Mimic. And, well, whatever, I'll just take the net damage. Yeah, that is terrible. Yeah, there's so much tempo loss. Maybe I should have just taken all the CQs instead, so I can run freely on archives every turn. Force him to at least play some ice on archives, but, well, now my bigger concern is getting into R&D, because with my current breaker suite, I cannot get through Inazuma. That's a problem. I think what I should have done here was to throw the Parasite onto the data pipe. That would allow me, once the data pipe is gone, I'm able to run through R&D freely. Yes, that is what I should have done. But instead, I chose to continue solidifying my economy by drawing and playing the Armitage. So, huge mistake here. And I also suffered a lot of tempo loss from clearing the tag from John Masanori earlier. So yes, here's where I make the crucial mistake. I should be playing the Parasite on data pipe, but instead, I installed the Mimic and I ran into a Grim, which trashed my York. My heart just broke. That was unexpected and completely devastating. And once again, data pipe hoses me where Enigma cannot. It forces 2 credits out of the already poor me. I am already so low on credits and you throw a data pipe at me. That's just brutal. Seriously. On the bright side, at least I completely bankrupt him after raising all those ice, so he couldn't advance the agenda in there for now. But now I'm stuck with a tag, so I liberate as many credits as I can. I run into HQ, and he still doesn't raise the ice. So it's making me double think myself. Is that an ice wall that is guarding HQ? I don't know. Can't tell for sure. If it was an ice wall, he would have rested already. And I took the last click to clear a tag. Obviously, he has a close account, so I cannot play Show Gamble. That would be pretty silly. He scores the Brain Trust, he's on match point, and he has a Trick of Flight in hand. I know the game is over for me. I need to score 3 agendas to have any shot at this. So I'll try to check his hand right now. And I see a Caprice Nisei, which I trash. And I'll go in again because I can. It's looking awful for me right now. I started so well, but a few key mistakes such as not playing the Parasite and running straight into that Grim is really costing me. He has so many code gates out and I don't have a York to deal with it. The net damage also sniped off my ice cover, so I had to put off my runs for quite a long time. But it didn't really matter the ice cover in the end because he wasn't running strength 4 ice. All his big ice are strength 5, which is conveniently out of ice cover range. I see the Himitsu Bako. And I finally decide to play the Parasite, but even then, I'm playing it on the wrong piece of ice. I should be playing it on the innermost data pipe. Then I would solve 2 problems at once. Because I don't have a York on the board right now, and I cannot rely on drawing the only other York in my deck. Then again, I have another special order, but still, the right thing to do here would have been to Parasite down the data pipe. So, thankfully, he doesn't seem to have any agendas in hand, otherwise he would... otherwise he would Trick or Flight his way to victory. So, right now I'm just waiting for my death sentence. Hopefully I can snipe 1 or 2 agendas before he closes the game. And he stops me from getting to HQ by installing over. I'm more or less certain that the ice is a Grim, but I wasn't at this point I've already resigned, so I just YOLO ran into HQ and sure enough it was a Grim. Sniped off my Kuroda. At this point, I expected him to res the Ice Wall, but he still doesn't res it, so I'm getting a free access. And a free card. I'm not sure why he was so nice to me, but in any case, I had another Kuroda in hand, and that's going on the board. But it's too little too late. He found his agenda, and fast advanced to victory. Oh, it's his 3rd medical breakthrough. So he's got it for as a fast advance from hand to win. Without even needing a single Trick of Light, he won this game. Yes, now I need to rethink my deck. It is very good against 4 strength ice because of ice cover, but against tech flood decks such as NBN, without the ice cover, I'm stuck with the Fix and Breaker Suite, which cannot get past the 4 strength ice. And moreover, I'm completely vulnerable to the 5 strength ice, and this game, this Planet Institute deck really punished me for it. With the combinations of Grim and Inazuma, there was no way I was going to get into any of those central servers or the remote. So I am definitely looking to switch up my deck. What I have done is to remove the Parasite and replace them with 2 Bishops. Now this might sound very silly, but I like Bishop because it costs 0 to install. The only downside compared to Parasite is that you need an extra click to hop into the Icy Wish, but after that, it will do its magic immediately. The -2 strength will apply immediately. And more importantly, it cannot be purged. Yes. Of course, I lose the ability to trash the ice outright, which is pretty important for the likes of Komainu, Pop-Up Window, Tsurugi, all these low-strength annoying ice that you really want to Parasite down. But I think Bishop might serve me better. So now with 3 Knights and 2 Bishops in my deck, I'm asking myself, do I play Spinal Modem? Or do I play Deep Red? What do you think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching and happy net running.